Good morning. Welcome back to your Monday Morning Alert video series brought to you by Bloomgren Seed in Boone, Iowa. Today is Monday, July 27th. We're in central Boone County. We're actually just down the road from our seed shed. And we're gonna cover a couple different topics. The first thing we'll cover today is GDUs. So we're at 1687. We're still about 24 below average, but if you've kept track of that number over the past few weeks, we've been really consistent. So what that means is the heat right now is appropriate for this time of year. We're not too hot and we're not too cold. We've kind of been just holding that line steady. It's been hot the last few days and the humidity has been high. So we're going to cover briefly on the conversation of northern corn leaf blight. Obviously that's been one of our main topics week in and week out. We're not going to rehash out that whole issue, but what we are going to just cover briefly is diseases thrive under these conditions. When we can't burn this humidity off and when it stays humid all day long, we're just a petri dish for these fungal pathogens to stay alive and to multiply. So what that means is, unfortunately, we're not out of the woods yet, even though we're nearing the end of pollination and we're kind of getting towards the end of the ideal window for fungicide. Unfortunately, these diseases aren't going to stop, which means you're going to either need to consider the use of fungicide or continue to scout. This stuff can really do a lot of damage if you don't keep your eyes on it. So keep scouting, keep contacting us if you need help. What we're going to talk about today is actually the importance of scouting. This seems to be the time when everybody needs a little bit of motivation. The corn is tall. My pants are soaked from being out there. It's hot. It's not the fun time of year to be out scouting, but it's just critical. I just got an update from Iowa State. There's about 8 different diseases listed that are coming down the pipe. We've got insects starting to pop up. We've got different soybean soil diseases. So it's really, really important to stay motivated to be out here, understand what's happening with our crop. And specifically when we talk about corn, I guess what's exciting is this is such a great time to go out and understand, did I plant well? Is my plant population what I wanted it to be? Is my plant spacing what I wanted it to be? And you can learn an awful lot about your operation if you're willing to go out and do the homework. And so what we did this morning is we pulled 4 plants from basically the exact same spot. And what we did is we looked for even spaced plants, and then we looked for plants that were either pinched together or unevenly spaced. There's 2 really key factors in the way that a corn plant sets its yield goal. One is plant spacing and 2 is emergence. Do they emerge evenly? Are they competing for sunlight and resources with the plant next to them? And then do they have adequate room? If you'll grab 4 ears from, let's say, 5 or 6 different spots in your field and do some of those yield estimate calculations we've talked about, you can learn a lot. Observe the plant. Is it too close to the plant next to it? Is it the same height? Is it taller or shorter? And then subsequently, what did the plant decide about its potential for the year? Now, obviously, the plants have an amazing ability to fill grain, so you might count less kernels. That doesn't necessarily equate to less yield, but it can tell you a lot about decisions you could make in your operation for next year. The other thing we've observed is going back to last fall. When we harvested, we were wet. It's really easy to come out and find the areas that there was compaction, whether that was spring compaction or compaction from the fall. That's another really easy thing to find this time of year, and you can go out in the field and kind of see the consequences of that. It's, in my opinion, what we have to do today is ask ourselves, how well did we do setting up the factory to produce us the yields that we want? If you're not happy with what you're seeing, it's a great time to say what changes or what practices do we want to consider for next year to make sure that we don't find ourselves in the same position. The other thing we're going to cover today, and I think a lot of our customers are familiar with this, but we want to make sure we reiterate the use of these. We've got a couple drones, and we've got the ability to come out and do drone scouting with you. It's a great thing to do on a day that's 1,000,000 degrees because we can sit in the truck. We can get some really nice aerial views of the field. We can get down close enough to see problem areas, but we can also run around a large majority of your farm and get some snapshots that'll give you a reference when you harvest. We'd really enjoy doing that with you guys. It's a lot of fun to do. The customer can sit in the front seat of the truck in the air conditioning with a high definition monitor and see what we're seeing as we fly the drone. And it's a really neat way, especially if you have fields you're concerned about or you're unsure of maybe compaction or a waterway or weeds or something that you'd like to see, give us a call. We'd love to do that. But our big message today is don't give up scouting. I know it's hot. I know it's not fun to walk through wet corn, but this is really a time to be evaluating how did we do this spring, evaluating our expectations for this fall, and then really setting plans for the decisions we're going to make going into next spring. So I hope it's going well. As always, if you have any questions, if you want some help scouting, please reach out to Dane or I. This is all we do this time of year, so reach out to us. We'd love to come help you and set up a time. We'd love to come fly a drone for you. So that's your Monday morning alert. Today's Monday, June 27th. Thank you.